All right, welcome everyone to the NCAA Division I Women's Basketball second round in Iowa City. A reminder that the Iowa locker room is currently open for interviews with additional student athletes. Today we'll be joined later by Iowa head coach Lisa Bluder and by student athletes Caitlin Clark, Gabby Marshall, and Hannah Stolke. Please raise your hand, wait for a microphone, and please state your name and affiliation prior to asking questions. And we'll open now for questions for our student athletes.
After going back and he's been talking for it. After going back and looking at the film from yesterday, what did you guys really, feel like you guys did well?
I thought our defense was really good. I thought they made some tough contested jump shots to start the game, and that's like kind of what we pride ourselves on. Is like we want to force people to take hard twos, and then I think in the second half we played all zone, and our zone caused them a lot of problems, and I think that's something we can feed off going into Georgia. I think our zone defense could be really good. Playing them, obviously, we're going to try a lot of different things, but I think there's a lot we can take away from our zone defense being really good.
Susan Harmon, HawkFanatic.com. Hannah, the Georgia looks really big, not only just on TV, but they looked really big. How are you guys going to handle their size? I mean, they have more big kids than probably any other team you may have played.
I think just like any other team, we're just going to do the best that we can. We're going to do some extra stuff in the post. They are very athletic and a very good team, but I think we got it in the bag.
John Bonenkamp, Associated Press. For any of the players, what do you see in their defense and what they can do in their zone?
Go ahead, Gabby.
They do play zone pretty much the whole game. We've been working against it, and we saw it last year actually, so I think we'll be prepared and just trusting that the coaches have the right game plan. And I mean, I think getting the ball inside and valuing the ball and using shot fakes and just being strong with the ball in general will really help us tomorrow.
Yeah, I think valuing the ball will be very important. Shot fakes against a team that is really, more athletic, bigger, longer than us. But at the same time, I'm not sure they've seen a team that has as many shooters as we do on the perimeter. So being able to use that to the best of our ability, it's hard to play zone when you have 4 people on the perimeter that can really spread the floor out and shoot it like we do. So, we need to be able to do that. But at the same time, when we have people making shots on the perimeter, it's pretty easy to get the ball inside to Monica. Or if Monica's, scoring on the block pretty easily, it's going to open things up. So, it's hard to pick your poison with this team. There's only so much you can do. But I think I don't know if they've really seen a team that has 4 consistent shooters on the perimeter like we do.
Georgia struck me as being not like any other Big Ten team. Are they maybe like Central Florida last year? But can you compare them to somebody that you've played and how you dealt with the size and strength? Yeah,
I'm not sure there's anybody that's like as big as them. I think, Maryland is a super physical, athletic team that kind of was playing a similar, box and one, zone-ish defense. So I think in that regard, that kind of relates. They're super physical on defense, want to disrupt you, things like that. But obviously, nobody really stays in a zone defense in the Big Ten for, the entire game like this team will. But it's the SEC is, a lot different than the Big Ten in a lot of areas. So, they match up pretty well with teams in the SEC because, you're going up against South Carolina, who has 2 really big posts as well, or things like that. So it's hard to compare in a way, but if I had to pick one, I'd probably go Maryland. I think their physicality on the defensive end is pretty similar to, what they're going to show us too.
Jeff Linder, Cedar Rapids Gazette. For either of the veterans, is this team more equipped to handle a physical brand of opponent than maybe you would have been a year or 2 ago?
I would say for sure. I mean, obviously that experience helps, and just playing together for so long, and we've been in these situations before. We've faced teams that are physical and tough, and I think just going in with that mindset that we won't probably get many calls, and we're just going to have to play through it and play through the toughness and be gritty on defense. I mean, that's really the mindset you have to go in going into that game and any game in the tournament, really. So I think, yeah, that experience and just having been here before will help.
Question for either Gabby or Caitlin. You guys played against UCF last year. Obviously, same coach here at Georgia. A few of the same players from UCF. What similarities do you see in the way they play? More on the defensive side of the ball, but altogether, what similarities do you see from last year's team at UCF?
Yeah, I think obviously the defense is the exact same defense that they run. So I think we have that going for us. So shout out Coach Abby for scheduling UCF last year, predicting the future a little bit for us. So I think, having that familiarity, gives us a boost of confidence that we have gone up against this before. We were able to get the ball inside when we played them last year quite a bit. We have quite a few zone offenses that we'll run, and we'll try to switch it up as much as we can. But yeah, I think just understanding we have gone up against it. We've been working on Georgia for, since we saw the selection show. So we've been working on them since we saw that. So I think just finding confidence in those areas. And, they're not a team that's going to shoot a ton of threes. They have two really strong post players that play on the block. I think they only average making over 3 threes a game. So, I think that's also going to be a key for us is boxing out, making them take hard contested twos. Or forcing them into hard threes because they don't really want to shoot them.
All right. Any additional questions for our student athletes?
Colin Votsmeyer, Daily Iowan. Just going in tomorrow, how important is it for you guys to defensively rebound against a team that can shoot better and have the opportunity to get more second chance points than they did yesterday?
Super important. I think that's something we always preach. All 5 people need to box out, whether you're on the block, whether, you're in the paint, whatever it is. Giving up second chance opportunities is huge. We always preach we want to get those on the offensive glass. So, they're definitely a team that hangs their hat on getting second chance opportunities, crashing the boards hard. So it's definitely a key to the game.
Any additional questions? All right, ladies, thanks for joining us.
That's okay. They're more important by far.
All right, we'll continue with Iowa head coach Lisa Bluder and an opening statement.
Obviously, glad to be in the field of 32, playing Georgia tomorrow. We know Georgia, tremendous team, great depth, zone defense they're known for. Battles and Warren are excellent players. Their posts, they have lots of depth at the post. And so they're going to be a real difficult challenge.
Kyle Huseman, Hawkeye Report. You guys got a chance to play UCF last year when Coach Abrahamson was there. And then they brought some of the same players to Georgia now. What kind of similarities do you see from them offensively and defensively, and how nice was it to get kind of see them last year, I guess?
Yeah, I think that was a real blessing to be able to see him last year, because with a one-day prep, you don't have as much time to prepare for an opponent as you usually would during the year. So I think it was a real advantage for us to play against UCF. Now they have the same advantage against us though, right? So kind of cancels each other out. I do think they're a little bit more different to prepare for just because of their zone defense. And so I'm glad that we had that. They're very similar to last year.
Colin Votzmeyer, Daily Iowan. I asked the players the same kind of question. Just going in tomorrow, how important is it to defensively rebound against a team that can probably shoot better and score more second chance points than they did yesterday?
Yeah, rebounding, it's 7% of their offense. So it's really, really important that we box out and don't let them have too many of those second shots.
Offensively, they don't shoot a whole lot from outside. I know they made a few yesterday. But what do you see from them offensively that they can do inside the three-point line that makes them so tough to guard?
I think it's the double post option that they have, having 4 and 5 down there low. We've seen a lot more 4 out, 1 in type teams throughout the year. So having just the depth at the post position and having, 2 in there that are really strong big posts at the same time. I think Battles is also extremely fast getting downhill. She does a great job of penetrating and getting downhill.
Do you have to change up the way that you're going to rotate players tomorrow, knowing that they have 2 post players, just to make sure that you're able to match up with them when they go bigger or if they decide to go smaller?
We're not going to be changing up at this point in the season. It's a bad time in my mind to experiment, so we're going to just stick with what we've been doing.
All right. Any additional questions? Coach, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, you guys.
All right, welcome everyone to the NCAA Division I women's basketball second round in Iowa City. A reminder that the Georgia locker room is now currently open for interviews with additional student athletes. Today we'll be joined later by Georgia head coach Katie Abrahamson Henderson and student athletes Diamond Battles and Audrey Warren. Reminder to please raise your hand, wait for a microphone to be brought to you, and please state your name and affiliation prior to your question. We'll begin now with questions for our student athletes. Noah, behind you.
John Sears, WHOTV. Diamond, what kind of challenges does Caitlin Clark present in running an offense and even distributing with her passing?
Caitlin is a great player. She does a lot for her team, and she disrupts, she makes you change what you have, your game plan and everything. But she's a key focus for the team. So just locking in on the game plan that we have and just, playing our defense and just tweaking a couple of things is just what we have to focus on.
John Seppi, Atlanta Journal-Constitution and Cedar Rapids Gazette. What would a Sweet 16 trip mean to you guys?
They would mean everything. That's, we're obviously going to take it one game at a time. So right now we're just focused on this game. But, looking ahead, winning this one to get to the Sweet 16 would be great. It'd be great for the team. It'd be great for us, the program, just having exposure and getting us out there. The NCAA is fun. It's fun to play in. It's fun to just keep winning. So that's what.
Susan Harmon, HawkFanatic.com. Your team is loaded with big kids that are really hard to move out of there and everything. But what do you see your role as guards to try to make Iowa spread the floor defensively for you?
I think with all teams, shooters will bring the defense out. It'll make them have to guard the perimeter a little more and open up a little more space. I think with our offenses and the people we have on our team, just the way they attack and make their own shots, the way we pass each other the ball, I think we're a tough team when we're locked in offensively.
Jeff Linder, Cedar Rapids Gazette. What's it like playing for Coach Abe, and what has she told you about her time, living in Iowa and playing in Iowa and stuff like that?
It's amazing playing for Coach Abe. She brings so much energy and fun, and she makes the game fun, and she makes it fun to be at practice and be around off the court. She hasn't told us much about her experience at Iowa. Abe is not a person to really talk about herself, so we don't know as much, but we know that she did play here, and she came from here, she lived here, her family is here, so they'll be at the game. But it's been fun playing for Abe, especially all the years that I've played for her, and just this year. It's been great, playing for her at Georgia, in which she played as well. So it's been fun.
You guys have played in some raucous environments this year. Tomorrow, sold-out crowd here in Iowa City. It's probably going to be 99% Hawkeye fans. Do you guys relish that opportunity to play in front of a crowd like that, where it's probably going to be all against you?
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
Like I said the other day, every D1 athlete lived for this moment, whether they're cheering for you or cheering against you. Like, you get to play in front of a sold-out arena. Like, who wouldn't want to do that? Whether they're cheering for you or not, like, the lights are on, so it's time to show up. So I think that our team is locked and loaded, and we're ready to show up and put on a show.
All right, any additional questions for our student athletes?
Have you gotten a chance to watch much Iowa film yet? And if so, what has really stood out to you about them?
Since considering we played Friday or yesterday, we only had today to prepare, and we'll have tomorrow. We'll watch film. Last night, watch film again. We got to go over our game plan and just what we're gonna do. It's not as extensive as most games during the conference might be, but I think we'll be fine with what we have.
All right, any additional questions? All right, thanks for joining us, ladies.
Thank you.
I got it.
Got it?
Yep. All right, we will continue with questions for Georgia head coach Katie Abrahamson Henderson.
All right. Ready?
Coach, how would you describe Caitlin Clark's game to someone that, if you're scouting her?
Amazing. Amazing. I mean, she's one of the best players in the country, for sure.
Kyle Huesman, Hawkeye Report. You got a chance to go up against Iowa last year when you were at UCF.
Yep.
How does that experience last year playing against a high-flying offense that Iowa is carry over to what you can do tomorrow, offensively or defensively?
Well, it really only carries over to 3 players, and Diamond and Brittany and Lish, and really Diamond and Lish because Brittany had COVID, so she didn't play in that game. So obviously they're a more seasoned team this year too. So and it's the NCAA tournament, so it's a little different.
You guys held them to 69 points last year. I know, like you said, you have different players this year, but are there any tactics that you used last year to hold them to that point that you can carry over and use for this game?
No, I mean it's not just this team. Every team that we play, we have a certain goal of how many points we want to allow people to score, and I don't know where we're ranked this year in the country in terms of defense. Yep. Yeah, top 15. Last year we were number 1 in the country. So last 2 years. So I think defensively that's always our goal. We try to just do us and play us and play Georgia basketball. That's always our goal. And so depending on if we're going to press or not in this game, that will change a little dynamics. Clearly, I'm not giving you all my secrets, people.
Katie, Jeff Linder, Cedar Rapids Gazette. With that being said, do you have a target number that you want to hold them to tomorrow?
No. I'm not giving you any secrets.
How much would it mean as you rebuild this program? Well, not really rebuild, but kind of reload this program.
Reload.
Yes, reload. So how much would it mean to be able to get a berth in the Sweet 16 in year 1?
Yeah, I should get a huge raise, everybody. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But, I think for especially our 5th-year seniors, none of them have done that except Audrey Warren. Audrey Warren has. Nobody else has, So obviously that would be amazing and kind of, the Cinderella team a little bit.
Caitlin is certainly the catalyst, but what else about Iowa's offense makes them so dangerous to guard? And they like to spread it around to other players.
I wish I had their names in front of me.
Marshall, Warnock, Martin, the shooters,
Sanano, number 1. She is one of. Obviously we've played against Aaliyah Boston, we've played against Angel Reese, we've played against dominant post players, but she is. Everybody always talks about Caitlin too, and she's phenomenal. But she's good. 25. What's her first name? Monica. She's good. I love her. And then Jan Jensen does a spectacular job always with her post players. They do she's always had great post players, and Lisa's always had great post players, and Jan's just like, I know she probably doesn't get a lot of credit for it, Jan Jensen. She's the reason those post players are that good. So I think she's phenomenal. Obviously, the cute little one with the eyes, who's that?
They all have eyes.
Well, cute eyes, pretty eyes. See, women know that. She's a really good defender, and I would consider her, besides Caitlin, a sniper. She can knock down shots, and then everybody else plays their roles really, really, really well, really well.
How special was it for you yesterday getting a chance to be back here at Carver Hawkeye, and then tomorrow? Are you looking forward to playing in front of a crowd like this, another sold-out crowd, or what's that experience going to be like for you tomorrow?
Well, it's never about me, ever, and I think it's going to be about them and coming in here and, and being in the NCAA tournament. I don't think anybody in their right mind would have ever thought that our team would have been here this year signing 10 portal kids. We signed 10. That's a lot. And so, pretty much we came in this year with 15 new players. And so, credit to my staff. They've done an amazing job. So now we're in this spot, and I think every game we play, our team is just super excited and like very, very proud of themselves. And my coaches, I'm very proud of them for getting us to this position. And I think when we came up on the screen and it said Iowa, they all looked at me like, "Are you kidding me?" I'm like, "Yeah, these storylines. I know. I'm sorry." So, but it's not about me at all.
Susan Harmon, hawkfanatic.com. Do you expect Lisa to try to change up the way they use their posts, given that you have a ton of really big kids that can crash the boards?
You got to define what you're saying to me. You mean offensively?
What do you think Lisa might do with her posts in terms of just matching up with your size?
Defensively? What she might do defensively?
Or offensively?
Oh. Well, I think defensively, she's going to mix it up. She's going to play junk. She's going to play her triangle and 2, box and 1. She's going to do a 2-3. She's going to play man. She's going to do all that. It's just going to depend on who we have in. It's going to be a chess match, I think, the whole game, and I think she's really good at that. So depending on who goes in the game, you may see her pull out a different defense if we're talking defense. Offensively, I don't think 25 is going to move too far off that block because she is a stud down there. You know what I mean? I think they're going to move everybody else around and get us to spread out as much as they can so they could throw it into her. So we just got to be smart about not getting too spread out.
From one Washington High School alum to another, just your thoughts on Hannah Stolke, the way she plays the game. 45.
Yeah. I don't even know if Hannah knows I went to school at Wash. And was coached by a really good coach in PJ and Paul James. And Paul called me, and he's like, "I'm sorry, I'm not there. I'm in Florida." I'm like, "Hey, you suck. You're in Florida right now." Like that's tough. So, I don't know her stats and everything at Washington. You would have to tell me that, but I love it. We've had a lot of great players come out of Cedar Rapids, Washington. Brenda Freeze, Stacy Freeze, her, and there's even more. So, that program really breeds great players.
Any additional questions for Coach? All right. Thanks, Coach, for joining us.
Thank you.